Hi, I'm Megan and I'm from Fife Gingerbread, and I've used the Get Help Fife toolkit when I was supporting parents when we first signed them up to our project. We have a look at the overall circumstances, we have a look at what is any gaps, any barriers that they may be facing in terms of their finances, and then we use the toolkit to try and alleviate those financial pressures that they may be facing. The use of the toolkit has been incredible across the board. I myself have used it to alleviate my own financial pressures. The toolkit came out around about the same time that my circumstances changed, and it has been such a difference for my financial stability. So I am absolutely living proof that the toolkit is worth its weight in gold. The feedback we've had from clients has been that the toolkit's really easy to use. We find a lot of our families are quite digitally excluded, whether that is they don't have access to sort of bigger sort of electronics, maybe like a tablet, they've only got their phone, and even with their phone, they can still use it really easily. We've got sort of slightly older parents who maybe don't use technology nearly as much as our younger parents do, but again, they found it really easy to use. It's not been a struggle for them to understand what's being asked of them. It goes step by step right the way through the toolkit till you get to the very end and you get your results emailed to you. It's a doddle.
I'm Michelle. I'm a welfare support worker for Fife Council. The Get Help Fife training allowed me to support a couple that I was working with in February, March this year. They were struggling to have the housing benefit element and the limited capacity for work-related activity element on their ESA added to their accounts. This was arising because one of the applicants, one of my clients, is in receipt of state pension and the other one isn't. I tried and failed to get these elements added onto their account. I then sought some advice from the CAF worker that we work with quite regularly. I done a fort referral. The CAF worker picked this case up for my clients. I stayed in touch with my clients throughout just to let them know what was going on. The CAF worker came back to me about 2 or 3 weeks ago and said that we were successful in getting those elements put back onto the clients' benefit accounts, and the clients got just over £15,000 in backdated pay into their bank accounts.
My name's Karen Golden. I'm a welfare support worker and I'm based at a community learning centre in Glenrothes. I use the Get Help Fife benefit checker. I have used it in my professional capacity to do benefit checks for clients who are not sure what they might be entitled to. For example, I went out to see an elderly lady whose husband had recently gone into residential nursing home, and she had since that time had her income had dropped drastically because she was only entitled to half of the state pension because she'd only paid half the contributions as a married person. She also had other costs that she was not able to meet. So I did a benefit check with her on the Get Help Fife system, and she was then able to apply for pension age disability payment, which was which was eventually granted an additional £110 per week. She was also entitled to additional pension credit, which amounted to £198 plus an additional £83.99 because she had a disability herself and was now living alone. So it's been hugely beneficial from that standpoint in helping people get money that they might not even know that they're entitled to, particularly elderly people.
So recently, I used the Our Fife website to support a parent who was in a bit of an unfortunate position where she had lost her father, and she really wasn't sure where to go with it. So we run through the Our Fife because I knew there was something out there in terms of funeral support for people. I just wasn't sure where to actually find it. So I used your site to actually locate it. And it bridged us over onto the Fife Council page, which then enabled us to actually put in the application for her, which I supported her to do, and she was successful in getting that.
So we initially had one parent that had come to us to looking for support. She had various children in the household with additional support needs. Her husband had recently left her and she was really struggling because she wasn't getting any of the benefits that she was entitled to. So I sat her down with me. We done a wee diagnostic assessment, as we initially do when parents come along, and found out that she was needing a lot of support in other areas. So we initially went onto the Our Fife website and I showed her the benefit calculator and we went through it together with her, and she actually realised that she was entitled to a lot of other benefits that she didn't realise. We also managed, as a result of that, to get her child's Scottish payment. We did the application for that. So she was able to get the additional money for each child as she was struggling a wee bit with food and things as well. We also managed, as a result of that, to get her child benefit sorted at the same time. Once we'd supported her with that as well, she was also, we're trying to support her into employment. So we're helping her with her CVs and looking at jobs and applications, also looking at jobs around what hours she could do around the children, because she homeschools most of her children. So she was looking at 16 to 20 hours to, roundabout that would be suitable for the children. So what we done was I went back onto the website and we did it as if she was going into work for the hours. We did a 16 hour, we did a 20 hour and a 25, just to give her a kind of guesstimate to see what she might be better off by. I also referred her on to Citizens Advice to get professional support for the benefits, so they could explain a wee bit more in depth to her, this is what you're looking at if you go into work. Once we had completed that, we also on there managed to get her some advice on energy. She was really struggling. Because her husband had left, she was really struggling with paying a lot of money for broadband, telephone, gas and electricity and everything. So the first thing we went was we followed through we showed her through the website, which was really easy to use. She found that really easy and it's quite visual. So we're able to get her to links and refer her over to the appropriate Cosy Kingdom and Greener Kirkcaldy to get her support for her house, for gas and electricity, but also for a lot of drafts and things that were happening with the house as well.
I think the beauty of the site is the linkage straight into the other web pages, because people find that really difficult to actually find pages online. And if you are not really, you don't embrace technology that much, or you struggle with technology, it can then become really, really difficult to find these pages. And that is the real beauty of the Our Fife site. And I think that's a reason why she found it easy to use as well.
Yes, because she was sort of the old school, so not used to the modern technology where everything, she just said she's totally overwhelmed. And of course, she'd gone through a lot. She's homeschooling children, dealing with a lot herself. So that, to be able to show her the click into the links and let her see for herself how easy it was to use, we were able to get her broadband prices down, her telephone prices down. Cosy Kingdom sorted her out, managed to sort gas and electricity out for her, and there was a number of other things that we looked at there as well. We also covered a bit of the cooking on a budget food with her, and looking to get her support from one of the, the food larders to get her a wee bit additional support as well. with things like that. And also, once we'd sort of dealt with the main things, because she's got children with additional support needs in home schools, she really struggled to look to get a bit more support with the disability support. So she got in touch with some of the, the previous children's schools, got in touch with the medical, got on the pathway for the autism, the neurodivergent pathway, and we sat down, and I've been helping her ever since, help her with all the forms for that, because it's a wee bit overwhelming.
And I think one of the great things is we quite often will ping them a link, and they can go in the comfort of their own home and actually navigate through the site quite easily. We might be giving them a wee run through to say, right, just go there, there, and there. And I think that's the beauty of it. And we'll say to them, go home, have a cup of tea and absorb that, because there and then on the day, they're already overwhelmed, and you're giving them all this information, and it's all running around their heads. They can be really overwhelmed, that they can go home and actually reflect upon what they've seen, and actually then come back to us in their own leisure and say, right, okay, I've looked at that. I would now like to take forward and go forward with this benefit or apply for this, and I think that's the beauty of your site, and it's quite unique.